Hey YouTubers, it's Suzette with your Sashi Crafts coming to you today with a basic resin tutorial. So let's get started. Basically, when you're pouring resin, you want to make sure you have everything that you need out in front of you. So what I use is the Envirotex Light 2-part resin. You pour 2 even parts of this resin to create the mixture. And then I have my molds that I'm going to be using today, my stickers that I'm going to be using today, little dogs. Have my nitrile gloves on. I have my stirrer. You can use wood or plastic. I have a little shot plastic cup that I use to pour my resin and my hardener in. Then I mix it in this Dixie cup. I have confetti that I'll be using and some glitter that I'll be using today. And basically, hopefully, it'll be a look something like this. That's what I plan on kind of getting. More of a clear effect. That's why I don't have any puffy paint or any acrylic paint, because I kind of want more of a translucent look today. If you want to use acrylic or puffy paint, you only want to use a little bit at a time so you can make sure your paint doesn't counter-react with the resin. You don't want to make it where it doesn't cure correctly, where it's bendable or anything like that. Your resin, when it cures, should be completely hard. Resin also is a timed thing that you need to make sure you kind of babysit it, watch it, make sure you don't get any bubbles and streaks or anything like that in your creations. So what I'll do, I usually pour the resin first, which is in the white bottle for me. I put a line on my cup, so that's where I'm going to stop. And you want to be kind of really careful. You don't want to get this stuff all over your hands and things like that. Resin is toxic. If you're under the age of 18, I suggest you talk to your parents about using it first. So you want to make sure you scrape as much of the resin as possible out of the cup, because it is important that each part is distributed evenly. So the next thing I'm going to take is my hardener, and that's in the black bottle. I pour it up to the line. And then we pour that in. And when you're mixing your resin, you want to mix it slowly. And I know it says like mix for like 2 or 3 minutes, but sometimes I'm watching YouTube videos or watching some TV and I'm mixing. The one thing you want to do is make sure you don't walk away from it when you're mixing, because I'm telling you, I have done that. And when you walk away from it and you get distracted, it's a big old mess, because when you come back, you'll have resin that's starting to cure in your cup. So they're both mixed in there, and you guys may not be able to see it, but there's like lines, like foggy lines inside of the resin. And you know, as a matter of fact, let me do something really quick. You should really have your window open when you're mixing resin, because of the smell. Some people use fans, but I'll have my window open. As soon as I started to stir it, I smelt it. Alrighty guys, I'm going to mix this. And what you want to do is you want to mix it until it's completely clear. And you want to do your best not to cause any bubbles. You're going to probably get bubbles, but the objective is to mix it slow. Scrape the sides, scrape the bottom. You want it to be clear, and you don't want to have any bubbles. But if you do get bubbles, I'll show you how to get them out. So I'll be right back with you. All right, guys. So I've been stirring, honestly, probably went for 5 to 8 minutes, I'd say. And making sure you get the sides really good and the bottom of the cup real good. Okay. There's like one big bubble right. Oop, it popped. I really don't have any bubbles. That's more or less because I've been doing this for a little while. But if you do get bubbles, you can let your resin sit for a couple minutes because it'll start to warm up. That'll get rid of some of the bubbles. You can also use a straw. You can use a straw. You can blow some of your bubbles out with that. Or you can take a toothpick and you can pop your bubbles. So basically, when you take your mold, here's my mold. And I'll just pour a really, really thin first layer on the bottom. And then another one really thin. You don't need it to be too thick. Because basically what you're going to do with this first Lord have mercy. With this first layer, you're going to let it get really tacky. That takes about 45 minutes, an hour for it to get tacky. Resin takes a long time to start curing. It's all timed pretty carefully. Okay, and as you can see, I have a whole bunch of resin left in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to waste it. I'll show you guys what I'm going to do with that in a second. So you want to make sure the resin is covering the base of your mold. You want every area covered. You don't want any holes. It will move around, but it's okay for you to help it move around also. And we're not going to fill these resins, these molds up with resin. You're not going to fill them up. Maybe a quarter of the way, but you're not going to fill them up with resin. Because as much resin as you put in the mold is how thick it's going to be. Alrighty. So we're going to coat this, and then I'm going to show you guys what I plan on doing with that resin that I have left over. Okay, so I have a Hello Kitty mold, and if you guys have molds like this, if you can see the eyes, the whiskers, the bow, there's a way so you don't rip up your mold. There's a way for you to add some baby oil is what I use. Some people use Vaseline, and you put it in there just a little bit. I just use regular old baby oil, nothing crazy. And I just put it on my gloves, and then I just rub it inside the mold. I'm only going to do 2 because I think that's all I have enough for. But you really want to get around the eyes and the bow and the whiskers really good so it doesn't stick. Because eventually, if it keeps sticking, it's going to rip your mold apart. So I have some puffy paint here. This color is watermelon. This is my favorite color. I'll add some to my resin, and I'm going to add some glitter. is. And then still mix it slowly. Do not stir fast. You still want to mix it slowly. Make sure you get the sides. Ooh, that's going to be so pretty. But you want to make sure you mix the glitter and the puffy paint or acrylic paint, whichever you choose. You want to make sure that you mix it in pretty good. That's looking good. Ooh, that is going to be so pretty. And then all you have to do is pour it in. So I hope you guys can see me pouring this into this mold. And pour slowly. You don't want to pour too fast because you don't want it to overflow. That makes a big mess. Let's see. I think I'm going to do another face. I don't think I'm going to have enough resin to do the body over here, so I'm going to do another face. Yeah, that's perfect. And when you let these sit, you want them to sit on a level area, wherever if your desk leans or something, don't sit it on that, because when your resin cures, it'll be uneven. You want to set it on a level area. And just scrape your cup, make sure you get everything out, because resin is expensive and you want to use it all. Okay, and then you just want to throw it out. And make sure if you have any pets or something, you don't throw it where your pets or anything can get it. So we'll let those sit, and it's probably going to take, I let mine sit 24 hours. It's going to take a long time for those to cure. So anywhere from 12 to 24 hours, and then you want to pop it out. Don't pop it out before, because you can mess them up. And when you go through all this work, you don't want to mess them up. So what we're going to do is we're going to let our heart molds that are here, we're going to let those sit. And we're going to let those get a little tacky. And it's probably going to take about 45 minutes or so. This one has some bubbles in it. I don't know if you can see them. But you just take your straw and lightly blow on the bubbles. So when we come back, I'll show you about the tacky test, and I learned that from Tattooed Cookie. The tacky test, and then we'll be ready to put our stickers in. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. I'm going to show you, this is set for probably about 45 minutes or so. And it's really thickened up. I hope you can see that. I mean, even you can see how it's sitting on the toothpick. It's really thickened up. So I'm going to have to take one of these gloves off because the stickers are going to stick to my gloves. But you want to take one of your stickers and you want to place it how you want it. Down in the resin, face down. The sticky part of the sticker should be facing up towards you. So it's going to be face down. I just put mine in the center. You kind of press it down. You want to make sure there's no air bubbles underneath your sticker. And then, oh, it's hard for me to work with these gloves on. I'm sorry. And then I'm going to take some of my confetti. It says love. I'll stick that down in there. Trying to make sure there's no bubbles underneath that. And then I'll take a couple of hearts. Let's see here. And place some hearts in there. Just however you think it'll make it look nice. It's up to you. So that's what it's going to look like. And everything's face down. You don't want to face it up because then it'll be backwards. So then I'm going to do another one. Take my sticker. Stick it in. Make sure it's in there the way I want it to be in there. Press it down in there. And I'm making these doggy ones because I'm going to be doing a craft show. And the craft show is dog related. So everything has to be about dogs. So I'm going to make some duct tape crafts for dogs and little crafts for the owners. So that's why I'm doing these doggy ones. And I have two more. Let's get the boxer. So I'm going to show you guys what I would do next. I've already mixed another batch of resin. The 2 parts, same thing, stirring slowly. Trying not to cause any bubbles, scrape the bottoms and the sides. And I'm trying to go for more of a translucent look, so I'll put glitter in here, but no paint. So let's see here. I'm going to do 2 colors. So I'll put some resin in this one. And some glitter. And yes, quite a bit of glitter, but that's okay because there's not going to be any paint. You just want to mix it really good. And then we're going to pour it right over the sticker. And like I said, you don't want to fill your molds up because when you fill your molds up, however thick your mold is, if you fill that mold up, that's how thick your piece is going to be. So these are pretty thick. And these are going to be like pendants or something like that. I'll probably make them pendants or keychains or something. I need a little bit more resin for this one. So let me add some more glitter. Remember, just keep your gloves on. I had to take mine off because working with those stickers, it would have been a mess. So you mixed it up. And then you pour it in your second one. And like I said, this is going to sit for anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. I most likely will pop mine out tomorrow morning. I doubt that I'll touch them tonight because I want mine to be completely cured. And you just want to make sure that the entire bottom is covered. And if you need to clean your hands up, you can always use baby wipes. But see, there's one that's completely covered. And let me push these hearts down.